Okay, abusuya eye Solomon Owusu ede nsem bi ababetudwa na ensem odi ababetudwa no abusuya wakele eye Dr. Bawumia enye asem keto akra ha eye gossip politics so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na hit on the notification bell so na be ya any update bi ebe drop no onso wonsa ebetumi akabina ensem ben ena Solomon Owusu ede ababetudwa on eye Dr. Bawumia abusuya sisi ano ofa baby a etese obia eka eho asem Solomon Owusu on eye NPP eye presidential primaries abusuya sikasem bi a ekoso and during Akufo-Addo 8 years Dr. Bawumia the corrupt act bi eye 2.4 billion eye dollars and eye 2 billion Ghana cedi eye corruption act bi a Dr. Bawumia eye involved in it and Solomon Owusu a drop ede amaya enye asem keto akra sisi ano o che say eye Dr. Bawumia ne de eye Akufo-Addo mo ena esenechi a omoyi ne ma eye NPP for na Dr. Bawumia sa ni 2.4 billion no bepem ne wadwene ho a ontrase and of file a petition to OSP on eye ne case bia during NPP campaign Dr. Bawumia the chair eye party no a o che say oka Dr. Bawumia eye ne ohwe ne position a owa ne salary a Dr. Bawumia agye endru sasika no and sasika no so no Dr. Bawumia ekokunya sasika no efri abusia mom yanko na yankonko ti ensema Solomon Owusu eye ono ena eye head of UP Alancha Martin party ono ena eye head of communication ewo ho abusia awa babe expose Dr. Bawumia and the corrupt act bia enye asem keto akra mom yanko na yankonko ti ensema Solomon Owusu edituja edimaya unsubscribe ya subscribe like na hit on the notification bell so na be any updates be ever dropping on onso onsa ebetumi aka medamase.
Novelty was something that was going to produce a different result. How many times did I not come here and tell you that nothing will stop Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from winning the elections? He was going to win. I'm even surprised that he got 56%. It shows how weak he is even within the MPP. Because the elections was rigged immediately. The National Council took that decision that it will be top down. And if anybody thinks that that decision was just an impulse one, then that person does not understand how the Machiavellians operate in the political setup or system. Every indication before election 2024 pointed to the fact that the MPP was going to lose the elections. So the establishment, and once again, people that still think that Akufo-Addo does not support Bawumia, I don't know where they are coming from. His main support and power still comes from the Akufo-Addo faction. So they planned ahead. And one of the ways or determinations they made was that if we lost the election and allowed polling station elections to take place before the flag bearership, it will work against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So immediately after the elections, they have to do that changes to make sure that they conduct a top-down approach. So right then they rigged the elections for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and I was very surprised. I don't know why my brother Sebe is not around. I told him countless occasions. He argued with me. He said, look, Sebe, I was in this party before you. and I know what was going to happen. So I'm sure by now he will be eating humble pie. It was to be expected. But you see, the party, New Patriotic Party, and the elections that took place. I have said that right after the defeat, the report that was issued by the Ashanti Regional Committee that was set up to look into what really happened was also geared towards minimizing the influence of Kennedy Japan in their internal process. Because in that report, they attributed the entire defeat of election 2024 to Kennedy Japan by linking his utterances, outburst, to why they lost the election without necessarily pointing out that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself was the problem of the day. So clearly, the party was not ready to learn anything different. Beyond that report, you remember they embarked on a thank you tour. In the thank you tour, so now you and I know what happened. It was just a trading of insults amongst themselves. And that is one of the accusations that Kennedy Japan leveled against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that he had deliberately engaged young men and women in the party to be insulting him, just to also cause him to react to these insults. So it was building up until the election, the campaign proper, and the election. The campaign proper, I mean, some of the words that came out, if I'm to repeat them here, it will be so mind-boggling that within one family, first of all, they started by telling you and I that among the MPP, all of them have sinned. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 16 sins, Kennedy had 10 sins, what's the name? Brian had 13 sins. Educhum was only passing a comment on Assassin Radio. They gave him 7 sins. That nearly cost his marriage. These people, Comrade Paul was trying to do, they gave him to say he's a lazy man. So say that this is what. But if you go into the sins, having told us that all of them have sinned, what was then going to happen on the 31st of January 2026 was that they were going to give us the Holy Sinner. So that when they give us the Holy Sinner, the real Ghanaians will go and vote for that sinner in 2028 to take us to the promised land. I heard a young man say that they were not going to vote for Kennedy Japan, someone who needed injections before he could sit in cabinet. I heard Abonye say that the elephant was that sensible than Kennedy Japan. Can you imagine? One guy called Coca, he said that Kennedy Japan was smart, they had opened the skull or something. So it was boiling up. But then Kennedy side also responded. I mean, I heard Osubempa also articulate the fact that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was suffering from autism. Hey! So between a mad person or autistic person, they were telling beyond the sinners that they have elevated the bar to be giving us their medical conditions. Madman and autistic person. So per the MPP's own rendition during this campaign, they are giving us an autistic person. For the Ghanaian to decide on that person come 2028. Sarah, if you are not worried about what took place last Saturday, and I don't know when you are going to be worried. When they were going around, the various candidates, do you remember the campaign messages that they were turning out? Let's even take the 2 leading candidates, Kennedy Japan and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. For Kennedy, he said he had money and he had open jobs, and so given the opportunity, he could create more jobs for the youth. That was the thrust of his campaign message. That was the case. That was the one. The second one was that he was a bold person. He was never going to concede to an election as early as possible. But what was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign message?
Ideas.
Hey! When I heard him say that, given the opportunity, he will be sending Christians to Israel to go and pray, and that was an opportunity for them to also renew their faith in Christ. I said, what are we discussing here? That in his mind, going or visiting Israel was the end of everyone's life cycle in religion. His next campaign message was that 10 persons from each constituency with the MPP were going to be offered opportunity to work in government. Is that not the case? No. So clearly there wasn't any message. You go to Brian, ask for Brian, he was saying that, oh, this one was fighting that one was fighting. He was youthful, energetic. He could speak different language. Every guy started French. So sometimes I don't know how that one was going to solve our food problems. But at the end of the day, what actually determined who won was the fact that the album that was existing had already a lot of fake people in the album that align with the vision of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Number two, monetization of our body politic was the message and not what they were saying. Look, I heard a number of the delegates being interviewed live on various networks, and they were so bold to tell us that, look, we have come here, we are not ready to go and vote because 3 out of the 5 candidates have bought their monies. What are the two doing? I do too much. You want to pocket the money? They won't vote until they add up. And so now if anybody is convincing you that they actually paid 700 and 500 apiece, then you must be living in a fool's paradise. They paid each of them in excess of 2,000 cedis on that day. But in order to manage public perception of what they were doing, they needed to just come out with a 700, 500, 500. Granted, Chena, that they paid, Brian alone paid 700 cedis. Now, in total, you had about 211,849 delegates who were supposed to take part in that exercise. Now, close of day report suggests, or the votes that came out suggest that only 196,442 actually took part in the exercise. Sana, if all these people, and I've already told you that the amount that they gave them was in excess of 2,000, but let's even go with what the delegates themselves told us that these candidates paid. 196,442 times 700 for Brian alone. What it means is that on election day, Brian expended 137,509,400 cedis. That is for Brian. Remember, one of the reasons for which Adenimo withdrew from this race was the fact that the party called the New Patriotic Party was charging 4.6 million. When that issue was raised, Senator, countless of their communicators disputed that fact, that there was no way the NPP could charge 4.6 million. It turned out that indeed they charged 4.6 million. Add that to this one. In the days leading to the election, they went round the various constituencies. Any constituency they visited, they paid the delegates. So what it means is that this small internal contest, the New Patriotic Party candidates have expended more than 2 billion Ghana cedis. 2 billion Ghana cedis has been thrown away. A party that is unable to pay its staff at the headquarters. Remember that last year or so, the staff came out that they had not been paid almost 8 months after elections. And this is what members of the party are able to give out or dole out. But does it not prick your mind to link this to the levels of corruption that we experienced under the Bawumia administration? So you see, their actions and inactions last Saturday points to a fact and points to why this country was underdeveloped, because the monies are with them. And I'm very surprised what the GRA is doing with the benefit of these figures. By now, the GRA must be going after them to find out how and where they got these monies. Last year, on the 15th of September 2025, I, together with the Bobokman and Apia Dankwa, we petitioned the OSP. You know about that. When Dr. Bawumia had told the entire world that he single-handedly donated more than 300 brand new Nevada pickups. And when we put pen to paper and did the calculations, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia if he decided not to touch a cent of his salary, could not even purchase 10 of those pickups. The OSP have decided not to touch that matter. So, what won the day was money. And if you are a political party in opposition and you are building your party and you build it around money, and we all know that you are not a Father Christmas, and then the viewers or our listeners must understand that they are only baiting you to vote for them so that they can come and recoup these invested monies, which will deny you the much needed development, which will deny the youth of this country the much needed employment, because then the money that has to be invested in the economy would be stolen, would be looted by them to offset the amount of money they have expended during their internal primaries and also the main elections. Now, Senna, immediately, now before I even get to immediately after the elections, you go to the results, into the results, and it's very interesting. They have taken sides. Yagaba Kabore constituency, Yagaba. You saw that results. I have never seen so, apart from General Eskin coming to tell us that he voted in a particular polling station, he got 0. Internal election, Yagaba Kabore, all of the rest had 0, which was the same thing in 2023, except Dr. Mambo. Do you believe in that results? Do you honestly believe in it? Especially when we have been told by Nanka Bruce, a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, that he, Nanka Bruce, went to the national headquarters to go and cast his vote or ballot. When he went there, he, Nanka Bruce, as a founding member, his name was not part. Because in their mind, Nanka Bruce was going to vote against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, so they would take it out. The name out. But guess what? At the national headquarters itself, to further emphasize the fact that a lot of the founding fathers, the creme de la creme of the party members, do not believe in this process. They see it as a flawed process, as a fake process, as a process that nobody must rely on. 987 people registered to vote at the national headquarters of the party. 987 voters, Senna. Guess about close of voting. Only 481 members showed up to vote. And for the benefit of your education to your listeners, the national headquarters has voters ranging from past ministers of state, MPs, chief executives, national council members, national council members, and so on and so forth. Less than 50% of these members saw the importance of this activity, and rightly so, because they realized that the whole thing was rigged for one candidate. Now, beyond that, utterances linking to even the polling station.
Okay, abusua we ne ensema ekoso e political highway so Solomon Owusu na yetsin nka say odesa ensem no etudwa ede maya chese wa spoil Dr. Bawumia wa tutu bi amano left right center baka enye asem kwato a ye bedam say somebody pene kokoti sa ensem we ede maya aha gossip politics TV so on subscribe like na hit on the notification bell so na be any update be drop and the auto political highway so the amamu biano so onsa ebetumi aka medamase.